Hi guys, this is Nikki, you also known as Face Trader, and you're watching me, Nikki, you, for the global market update. It is September 7, 2020, a Monday. Let's discuss the global markets for you today. So today I think the US is closed, but that doesn't mean that we don't have stocks to discuss. In fact, there's a lot of companies that we should be discussing. Anyway, we're talking about the world and not just USA. So I think that for most people, they have been discussing about the correction last week on whether it is the true crash or what should you do, no? So in terms of market turbulence, I'd say that this is something that I had to share to everyone. Let me share to you what I think about the markets currently. So my thoughts on how to address the market turbulence and temporary corrections. You can follow me, of course, on Faces Trader at Twitter if you haven't been following me there. Investment moderation. So this is quite hard. Concentration or diversification. I always have this problem with people asking me, should I own 20 companies? Should I own 30 companies? Should I own 6 companies? So to be fair and to have a consistent judgment about what companies you should and shouldn't own, it's very hard to understand this given you have to understand the contextual understanding to properly interpret every allowable risk tolerance. So I would suggest that you spend your days sifting through the best and worst of your holdings and really make rapid fire decisions to sell companies you're not comfortable to hold for decades. So day in and day out, you have to assess, do I really want to hold my Rokus, my C Limiteds, my Spotifys? Do I truly want to hold on to them for the next 10 years? Or am I just there for about a few months, given that I'm up like 100%, let's assume. So you have to be compelled to force rank your holdings. What is your true ideal size for these companies? What are your ideal weights? And then think about what your portfolio has to look like by 2020, by 2025, or 2030. True enough, you have to assess for yourself if you're truly investing or if you're trading, because some of you are up 500% of some companies. You might not have sold a single share. And true enough, we are seeing that the markets at this point in time, at 12,000 Nasdaq, this is not the same as about Nasdaq 9,000. That doesn't mean though that your 500% gain would be reduced to 250% gain if you own, say, something like a Zoom video at about 70, 80, 90 bucks, which went to 400 indeed. So 80 bucks times 5, 400 bucks. It fell to about 360. It could fall to 340, 330. So what are you going to do? So owning a concentrated high conviction portfolio, of course, has high stakes. Reminder, though, that owning a few names can have history altering consequences, both on the upside and on the downside. We have to discuss later on what's been happening in the market. What's that you call the gamma move? Can you understand the 25% correction on some 150 to 500% moves of the companies that you own? So I just wanted you to know that a lot of people have been discussing rotating to high quality cyclicals. These are your Disneys of the world. These are your Coca-Colas of the world. These are some European banks, for instance. And I was thinking about it during the weekend, and I was actually thinking, indeed, 4 of your entire fat man names, your Facebooks, your Amazons, your Apples, your Teslas, Microsoft, Nvidia, they have indeed rallied to as high as, I think as a group, around 10 companies are about $8 trillion. And these companies are bigger than the entire German, European indices, France, etc. And so some people have rotated, and you are seeing Europe at 1-month highs. So I am assessing that for myself, if I should rotate to high quality cyclicals. But if you think about it, in the last 7 years, this is your NASDAQ, QQQ versus your SPY. Your NASDAQ is significantly outperforming your SPY. You could see that it used to be just a long-term uptrend. This is QQQ over SPY. The fact that it is up means that QQQ or the NASDAQ has always outperformed your old economy names. Your S&P 500 is still... yes, you've got the apples there, but in terms of weighting, it is not highly skewed to your technology-focused companies. And you can see that in year 2020, technology had a breakaway move. So in fact, this year, your Nasdaq is up 100%. Your S&P 500 is barely up. So the question is, should you truly rotate your high quality leaders into some high quality cyclicals? I prefer personally that if you think that the Nasdaq is expensive, which I truly think it is, even so, the mean reversion would probably just be this sharp acceleration, or what you call the sharp melt up of the Nasdaq against the S&P. I'd rather just have them some of them be in cash, like take profit partially. Let's say I'll be honest here. I partially sold some Roku's at 175. Indeed, Roku fell to 150 bucks this week, last week. No, let me tell you what a few things that I've done. I saw that Roku at 175, so I didn't sell at 180, but I thought that a few days ago that around 176, 175, it truly seemed toppish. And so I sold my Rokus. And then, of course, a few days ago, it fell. Actually, it's not even a few days ago. 24 hours later, 175 collapses to 150. And so I think that at 150 or even at 120, I'll be happy to own Roku again. So I'm not a complete trader, by the way. I didn't sell everything. You could see that there are so many arrows here because I've been buying Roku ever since quite last year, since 2019. So I am a true believer of Roku, and I think that's going to be a $200, $500 company someday. And so what you see here is that some of my sells are just partial profit taking, with the admonition that even if Roku fell tonight at 153, or even if it goes to 140 or 130, I'll be happy owning some Rokus on the way down and selling it on the way up, not selling all my stakes. So you could see that my stance for the next 2 to 3 months is probably to trade the ranges of my winners. If I know that the Nasdaq at 12,000 could be a potential resistance, what I'll do is at 11,000 to 9,000, I'll be a strong buyer. At 11.8 to 12.5 or even at 14,000, if we go certainly all-time higher, I would be profit taking partially on the way up. So I would prefer to stick with my high companies, my high growth companies. I don't want to rotate towards the high quality cyclicals, although I give some exceptions to the rule. Indeed, I saw that Coca-Cola had broken up. This was a breakout at 50 bucks. I have been seeing a lot of people buying at 45 and 50. I do see this is a high quality cyclical. Disney is also a high quality cyclical. I make a few exceptions to high quality cyclicals. GME, of course, is bought by $3 to $4. You can see that at 6, it's 765. I still think that this can have a potential move to about 10 or even 16. So I have some high quality cyclicals that I think that, some of you might say it's not high quality, but at current levels of about 550 or $6 of Funko, I'd say that this is a high quality name, low risk, high reward. It could go to $8, could go to $10. So or even at 780, I'll be happy to own a few things like these. So some of the high quality cyclicals that I was comfortable to own were SGMS. So I was buying at 18, selling at about 25. I had to sell some at 21 as well. But should GAN Limited fall to about 17 or even at 14, 15 next couple of days, I'll be happy to own some of these high quality cyclicals. Casinos are something as a sector that I'm happy to own. So I'd say that some high quality cyclicals that I've been seeing, and you know this because I've discussed Interactive Brokers and Charles Schwab. These are brokerage firms that are high quality cyclicals that I think that the market has been going into. You could see that at 33, 34, we got some dividend here. Today it's at 36, so it's up 10% from our costs. But I do think it's going into 48. So these are the companies that are what I would consider high quality names. They are high quality cyclicals. I won't make I certainly won't make 100% in my view, and in such a short time, unlike say Graph or the SPACs like this. So I have some Graph, right? So at about 17, 18, we got here 18, fell to about 16, buy again, 14, 16, 18, buy certainly a lot of levels. At about 24, 25, I'd admit to you, I sold some, but I held some. Whether this one goes $20, which it did last Friday, and then close to 26, even if it goes back to about 21 or even at 19, I'll be happy to own that and then hold it, say, go 40, 50, 100. I'll be happy to hold some of them in the future. So I do hold some of them still. You could see that the market volatility for some of our company picks, like Forum Merger, this is Tattooed Chef. We got in about 14, 16, 17, 18. Even at, I remember buying FMCI even at Yeah, I remember buying, sorry, I remember buying Graph at 18.5, even as high as 18.5. And for foreign merger, I was willing to buy even at 17.5. So even here, that was the last buy I did for foreign merger. You could see I've been buying for quite a while now, since about July, August, September. True enough, this September, I've been trimming, but not going to sell everything. I'd say that, if it falls below 18 again, I'll be happy to buy it back. Or if it goes to $100 someday, that's my baggers. Those would be my 100 bagger moves. Same thing. I'll show you what's happening with some solar picks I have. So a Canadian solar, you could see there are so many buys here. I've been buying here. Last week from about 34, it fell to about 30, 31. I actually thought twice if I should sell all of my Canadian solar at 33. But I said, okay, I really don't want to sell everything, even if I know that the market is stoppish. So for companies like these, I'd sell half, with the thinking really that, one day Canadian solar, everyone's going to be in solar, and it's going to be a $50 company. That's why it's partially why I don't like to sell everything, and I don't want to rotate to high quality cyclicals. In reality, my style bias is really growth only. Value doesn't interest me. Only 10x secular trends. So I really love solar, SPACs, LiDAR technology, wearables, electric vehicles, online sports betting. That's why I'm betting on GAN, even if GAN at 25, I didn't sell everything, and then I had to sell some at 21. I think that at 17, 18 below, I'll be happy to own it. So, of course, this kind of thinking, in my view, means that I am I'm not concentrated. So I truly have a lot of companies. So I do make a lot of money in so many companies. Sarens is an IPO. I've been buying this since about 36 here and 38. I added more at 48. Partially, I sold here at about 55 and at 51. And then last week, when I saw Friday that the market was going up, I bought back in. So sometimes when I partially sell, the reality is if I think the company is going to be a 10x trend, and true enough, when I talk about 10x, I think that what I'm buying, a $30 name, is going to be $300 in 10 years. So I really don't want to unload it, because I really mean it when I say I'm there for the decade, not the day. So I'm going to tell you what I did with C Limited. I've been buying this since 36, 45, $60, and even at 110, 113. And then I sold the partial. To be honest, I sold some at 148, and then I wasn't able to sell 160. But if so, last week I bought some at 142. Should C Limited go down to about 132, or even go down to 120, I'll be happy to own this and buy more. So the reason why I don't put some sell arrows here is that I don't want to confuse myself with the short-term resistance that the market has, because these companies, in my view, are going to go $500, $1,000 someday. So how do I manage my risk? To be honest, I just accept that there will be market turbulence, and all the Peter Thiels and David Gardners of the world who held on to like a $3 name Amazon to as high as $3,300 today had to hold through some drawdowns. So how do I handle my drawdowns? I make sure that I only have, say, if I'm really scared, I'd say maybe 2% allocation of the companies that I'm married with, so that if the market fell, let's say 2% times 20 names, that means that I have 40% invested, 60% in cash. But actually, I'll be very honest to you guys. Right now, I'm not too scared. I have positions as high as 3 to 5%. And if I own, like, say, 20 names, that tells you that I'm 60 to 100% invested. I sold some margin though. I was leveraged. I sold some companies which were margin. And then if the market would fall to this week, or if it will rise, I'd be flexible. The thing that you have to be flexible and nimble in these days, your portfolio should still be a function of your conviction. And I think when it comes to conviction, it really has to do with your knowledge about the companies and the sectors that you truly want. So I really have to say that I'll give you a few things. Mads Christensen is also a C Limited believer, and this is a great piece. Forest Lee surges as pandemic drives digitization across ASEAN. You have to understand that you are investing in C Limited for the payments, for the e-commerce. Nintendo, since I wasn't actually Nintendo, I've been buying this since, to be honest, Nintendo, I've been buying this in Japan, 7974. I held this at about, I remember buying it here at about 30, yeah, 34,000 yen before the gap up here at about 33,000 yen. And then it rallied to as high as 45,000 yen. I sold it about 40K. It went back up, had another buy, but I wasn't able to buy this anymore. And then I had to buy it already at about kind of late, to be honest. Because anyway, I can't buy everything that I like. I got in about 51,000 yen, sold some at about 58,000, 59,000 yen. Sometimes I'm wrong. It could go certainly higher. Nintendo is anti-DOI in the US. So you could see that that would be here at about 60 bucks. Selling it at 70 makes you still win. Last year, that would be just at 40. I think that Nintendo is deserving to be a $200 name. At 50,000 yen, it deserves to be 200,000 yen. It is trading, what, 60,000 yen today. And the market is toppish. I'd like to see Nintendo go down. But true enough, it might not even fall. You know, the strength of Nintendo Switch, Animal Crossing, all of those Pokemons, it's very hard to predict tops of companies that you believe in. And I've been hurt so much when I sold Zoom Video very, very early, in my view. I sold it somewhere here at about, I sold it about 240s, no? So I didn't get back in. So right now, last week I had to buy back at about 360 through 351. So I bought back here with the knowledge that even if Zoom Video falls tonight at 320, or even if Zoom Video falls near 300, I'll be buying, averaging in all the way down if I have to. So same thing for Facebook. Facebook, I've been invested in this company ever since. Actually, I was too small before. When I started investing in US, Facebook was one of those names that at around 20, I remember buying this at about $90, 2015. I said, was it, or somewhere here? $90, 98. I remember. I think that was here. I remember buying it, or was it here? I can't remember. But I knew I doubled or tripled my money. And it was actually one of the reasons. Yeah, I'm sorry. I only doubled. So I sold somewhere at 200. So sold somewhere here, 200. And then buy back again at about 160 here. Sold 200, buy back 160. Then, you know, right now, Facebook is just really buy more. You might argue, actually before I wasn't too focused on US. So like I just had these fat man names like Facebook's, Microsoft's, and Google in US. It made me, the impetus was really concentrate more in US because the money that you're making in US is far bigger than in Philippines. So so that's why I transitioned with focus on US. And let me show to you where the market opportunities are. SPACs truly are great companies, great moves. I have a SPAC. I have the FMCI. I have Graph. I do have some GMHI. I didn't get this KCAC. So Gores Metropolis, another lighter company. So I'm willing to buy that at 11. Even if it fell 1080, I was willing to buy it 1150. So all of these, I'll just hold on to this. I've developed holding power for companies that I truly love, but I'm not allocating a lot. So the reason why I can hold companies is usually I can just hold less than 5% of them in my portfolio, or sometimes just 2 to 3% in my portfolio. So I could really weather all the drawdowns, even if it goes 25% down tonight, tomorrow, whatever. So that's really how I handle it. Like wearables, Copen, Boozy, you know, I believe in these companies. I've made money here. I'll be willing, you know. Sometimes I would sell some, like it went $5, then $4, you know, I'll sell some. But truly, I wouldn't sell all my shares. You can't see me sell all my shares, especially if I'm like up a lot. For CrowdStrike, you'd see that this one, I'll be willing to buy it if it falls, no? So you can see last Friday, the market truly has been bought. If you sold it about 147 or 135, it made the market 118. And even if tonight, I don't know if CrowdStrike will fall. But if it falls, I'd say that at $100, there will be so many people willing to buy here at 110 or $100. So the market right now is in a zone where you have a trading range. This melt up move has a meltdown potential, but that meltdown would be quickly bought. And the true meaning of that is because of the following. Wait up. Some of the interesting things that I'm taking a look at. Just want to share to you on the SPACs. No, Bill Gates' backed vehicle battery supplier goes public through SPAC deal. QuantumScape, a developer which was now known as Solid State Batteries, has entered into a merger with Kensington Capital Acquisition. Shares will deal somewhere end of the month, or I think end of the quarter. The implied value would be $3.3 billion. Its ticker will be QS, QuantumScape. So QuantumScape CEO Jagdeep Singh on going public through a SPAC deal. You can watch it for yourself. It's a 5-minute video on CNBC. This has been backed by Bill Gates and Volkswagen. It is the newest automotive company, and then they do solid state batteries. And I think solid state batteries is getting well known because it's going to be discussed on Battery Day on September 22 by Tesla. So some of the biggest funds have been Qatar. And then I haven't seriously studied this company. And I'd learn about it. That's the thing with me. I am really, truly interested with electric vehicles and all the components inside and all the infrastructure. This underlines why I truly believe in Graph or in GMHI, LiDAR companies, why I believe in even some lithium miners like Albemarle. I have Albemarle, guys, since I have it at 65 and I did say at 75 that it was also a buy, no? So right now at 199, I sold some at 99 with my very low stake just held on. So yeah, so even if Albemarle goes down to 86 or if it goes 109, I'll probably be there. So yeah, so I think like it's key for you to know companies that you truly want to marry. I don't mind getting a 20% crash. In fact, I embrace it. I embrace crashes if the market will. I don't short, or I know some people who do short. We only short through the UVXY, no? So if the market is volatile, I'd say that UVXY here at about 25 will be a buy, and then sell it at 30, 32. It can go at 40 or 50, but 25 to 20, those are buying opportunities for me. So what does this mean? The more that the market is scary, I'll be willing to buy some puts, and buying puts through UVXY. So UVXY is a fear indicator because if people are fearful, UVXY will go to 30, 40, and 50, you know? So this is how I protect myself. And then I don't plan to sell my winners just because everyone will say, oh, the market's going to fall. That's how I do it. So let me see some commentaries. And I also shared quite a lot of good stuff, no? So you could just check out my profile. I've always preached that the winners have to be held no matter what. So no matter if people say it's expensive, the NASDAQ is expensive, it's really up to you. And I think like when it comes to portfolio management, let me read to you a few of the most important Twitter threads that I've seen. No? With Twitter, I'll say that I got in at Twitter at the 36, 37, and recently it went to 44. But when the market crashed a bit, I saw myself that, at 41, maybe, okay, I'll let it go. Like a 20% gain could go to 10% gain. And anyway, I'm not too confident with that name, so I sold it for cash. But you know, if it goes $100, like if Twitter goes $100, I don't mind losing. I don't mind missing the opportunity in exchange for some cash so that I could buy some winners that I truly, truly want. So it's quite a hard way, really, to say to you what to do with your own portfolio, because it's really going to be a case-to-case basis and it's very personal. This is a good way to assess how you're handling your portfolios. In portfolio management, Martin Brutage said, a 15 to 25 stock portfolio has enough concentration, allowing a skilled investor to really stand apart from the market, but it's not concentrated so that bad luck, bad timing, or 1 to 2 mistakes can sink an otherwise competent investor. This is why I really try my best to still be within that 20 stock to 25, sometimes even 30. My mistake is really that I am more diversified rather than concentrated. So I've really not been concentrated. And sometimes I'm being penalized because I don't concentrate on my super winners like Zoom Video, C Limited, Spotify, Roku, Facebooks, these are easy winners, I know, but I wasn't like too concentrated. And so somebody who's very concentrated in their winners are gonna be better than me. That said, I'm happy to say that I have those graphs, those FMCIs, those Scopens, Woozys, made 100% with them. And sometimes, yeah, so I think like you just want to seek the best of both worlds for your portfolio. Now, a standard model would have, say, 10 stocks, 10% each, or they could have some positions having 20%, and then some positions having 3 to 5%. Really up to you guys. As I said, when you're constructing your portfolio, this is like just a pizza pie. I could have pepperonis, mushrooms, salami, and ham. You could just have a 4 cheese or a classic, like just tomato and basil and cheese for your pizza. So your pizza, meaning your financial pizza. So I just want to show to you that, there's a lot of successful investors who need not have to be sticking to a 20 stock portfolio. And so you could actually see that. But whether you want to live a long life, and not just long life, but also have a wonderful portfolio, I'd say you want to marry the best of investing with the best of trading if you can. So how I do this is, if I see that the market is partially getting some resistance, I do take some off. And I think like even the best fund managers do that. Like when they're 5% stake, let's say you have $100,000, you've put $5,000 into a company like Zoom. It went 20% already because times 4, right? Zoom went from 80 to 330, or yeah, so it's now $20,000. It went even as high as $25,000. You could trim it back to about $5,000 or $10,000, so that you have some profits, and that profits would be your cash to buy other companies than Zoom. That's really how I do it. That's why sometimes I could start with a 10 stock position, then I have 15 stocks, then I have 25 stocks or 30 stocks, because some of the stocks were actually brought about by my gains from Beyond Meat, from Zoom Video, from Pintuoto, from Huya. Those are like my 500, 300% wins. Let me see some comments if there are any. Are there election play stocks in the global? I don't like to think about trading. To be honest, like people say, oh, Joe Biden's going to win, so your solar names are going up. Renewable energy stocks are going to go up because Joe Biden is winning. I am not about the short term. Like, to me, I am invested in solar companies because if you have an electric vehicle, chances are you would have to have some solar residential panels in your home. And so if you're projecting that electric vehicles will have 1 million or so vehicles, or 10 million vehicles by a certain 5-year time frame, then you have to assume that residential panels today, which has just 3% household penetration rate, can go as high as 10% or even 15%. So that's really how I think. What do you think about Ant Financial? I think Ant Financial IPO could be over expensive when it comes out in the market. And the market has priced in Ant Financial bullishness through Alibaba. So the easy money in Ant Financial has been captured by Alibaba investors, which went from about 200 to 290 in just a month. Making 50% in a month might not sound so, this is Alibaba here. So Alibaba owns Ant Financial. I'd say that... but that doesn't mean that Ant Financial is not going to go up. I just have to be very careful. Is it going to be valued at $200 billion? Do I see $200 billion going $300 billion? Yes, someday. But if I could if I could buy it at 150 billion, maybe I could get a better price. So I wouldn't be too gung-ho. It has to depend also on how the rest of the payment names are doing. Payment names such as your Tencent, of course. Ant Financial is going to be, Ant Financial is a spin-off from Alibaba. Tencent owns WeChat, which is inside Tencent. So I have to think, do I still prefer buying Ant Financial, or should I just stick with what I own, which is Tencent? Something like that. So there's a question, ano ho mangyayari sa tech stocks? C Limited, Amazon, Cloud. When you say cloud, are you talking about when you say cloud is cloud computing, that is a sector. So maybe you're discussing what's happening in the sector, no? Zoom, Netflix is streaming. Actually, I will never go back to old economy. The truth is, guys, personally, I don't care if the truth is I'm happy if the US tech names, as I said a while ago, the Nasdaq has outperformed your old economy, your S&P 500 for the last 7 to 10 years. From 2010 to 2020, although my chart only shared you 2013, no? But that outperformance has just been accelerated in 2020. Look at this chart, guys. This is the chart. S&P, QQQ versus S&P in the US, no? If you have been investing in the tech economy for 10 years, you'd have 10x your money. 10x, 20x, 30x. Okay? I'd never leave. I'd never leave technology, guys. I'll never go to Coca-Cola's. Coca-Cola's, I'll make 10%. But with the graph, I'll make 100%. I'll make 2,000% in Zoom. So, it's not a question eh. I could trade my Zoom video. See, I could sell it at 400 or 450, but I have the intention to hold it and buy it at 300 or 320, 330. Linton is asking holiday. I think US is holiday today, but of course your Europe is open. You've got the video games open. Your Japan today is open. So and I forgot to say Japan today. So Softbank 9984 has been dropping 6% tonight. Because so 558 no. So yeah, I try to do the best of both worlds. Like I know how to trade, but at the same time, I prevent myself from trading every company I own because I know that sometimes if I think like SoftBank is going to be a 200,000 yen, a 20,000 yen company someday, I'll actually be more bullish buying some SoftBank 59 to 55, where when Zero Hedge or some Bloomberg news talks about like the $5 billion derivative calls of Masayoshi towards all these tech companies like Amazon, Tesla, Apple, and so forth. So it really they're long the gamma. So they went long to the position that they owned and they overbought perhaps. Sure, I'd say that Facebooks and Googles, they might have seen a short-term peak, but I think like if Facebook and Zoom, if they can fall like 10-20% a night, I'll be more than happy to buy it. If Facebook would fall to 250, I'd be happy. So actually, like last Friday, I was waiting for the market to fall so that I could pick it up down low. But the Facebook only fell to 270. I'm willing to buy it as low as 250 or even at 230, no? So I'm on the prowl to buy these names on the downside. And if I don't have it, I'll be willing to buy it even at 280. At market, I'm okay. So you might say, Nikki, ang dami mo namang pera. That's because I just buy small. I tranche it. So I don't trade it. If I buy small, I'm more confident that if it goes down, wala. I'll buy 3% lang naman eh. Sometimes I just buy 2% of my portfolio, especially on my large portfolio. I don't buy a huge position immediately. So I buy 2%. It could take me a while to accumulate a 10% weighting on a position. And I do that so that I could hold it for 10 years if I can. Miss Nikki, is SoftBank a buy or a hold to today's price? So SoftBank, this is the news that's hitting the wires on SoftBank. Let me explain to you why some people are selling SoftBank. No, there's news that SoftBank has went super long on the market. Where is it? Here, no? So if you're not aware, SoftBank have purchased some options. These are some billion-dollar calls. Me personally, I think that SoftBank made a huge risk. So SoftBank options is raising eyebrows as Wall Street backtracks. Because of his massive whale buying, $4 billion, he generated about $50 billion worth of buying some SoftBank, which he already owned. And so this is something that the market perceives as excessive leverage. So it is a very dangerous strategy for SoftBank. So SoftBank is actually a high risk, high gamma play. So to be honest, how much is my exposure to SoftBank? My exposure to SoftBank is just what's less than 4% actually. So if SoftBank, because my position size in SoftBank is too small. I only have about 3% in it. So if it falls, if and my position there is in yen. It's not in it's not in dollar. So I have it at 5.9 yen. It went to 6.4, 6.8. I had a partial sell at 6.4. If it goes to 5.9, which now it did, no, it's now at 5.9. If it goes to 5.5 or 5,000 yen, I'm looking to buy some SoftBank. So I'll be willing to buy SoftBank at 5.5 to 5,000 yen because I do think that that what it owns inside are very important companies. Like I think that Grab, TikTok, that just is a huge position for me in the long run. So I think that SoftBank fundamentally, and I discussed this a long time ago. You can just check my Awesome Times channel. Why I believe that SoftBank is one of the best ways to grab TikTok and so many other great companies, the smart cities of the world. DG Chuxing, yes, it also owns Tesla. All those companies, all inside SoftBank. So my bullishness on SoftBank never wavered, but I know how to trade. So like let's say I had 5% position then, it went to 5.5%. I trimmed it down to 3% so that if 3% goes down to 2.5%, I'm okay. Is Roku already a buy? I'm willing to buy Roku if it falls like confident marriage material, $125. So far, Roku currently fell to about from 180, it already fell to 150, 20% down. So like some people already bought kasi 20% down in 2 days. And I think like they'll sell Roku at 170. So so if you bought at 155 last Friday, I think that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week, people would sell like the rally, 165, 175. And in the short term, maybe Roku at 180, you have a resistance in the very short term. But in the long term, you know, Roku is, in my view, a $300, 500 name. So I couldn't care less if Roku fell 125. If it fell 125, I'll be a long-term buy, and I'll be buying a lot. Is Shift4 payment a buy? Shift4 at 38.41, I bought. At 50, I sold. Sometimes, like for Shift4, I trade it lang. I didn't marry it. It could be $100 company someday. But secular trend yan. But yeah, I haven't married Shift4, no? So I bought here, sold there. It fell to 45, rallied to 49. I think at 51, 52, people would sell. But at 45 to 40, especially at 40, people would buy at 42. So I think like for a lot of companies in the US, we are seeing a choppy range. So I'm not bearish, but I'm not too bullish. I'd say that slightly neutral to bullish. So if I was like margin, I'll tell you what, if I was margin before like 150% in the market, right now I'm 90% in with leeway to go 150% margin if the market fell. If the market fell. Now, if the market doesn't fall, okay lang, 90%, 100% in. Anyway, my positions, it can go up. Long-term ko naman yan eh, so okay lang. If the market fell, magma-margin buy ako. Kasi sobrang mura lang ngayon. Like, I can buy in Interactive Brokers 1.55% interest rate a year. Sobrang mura. So, I'm willing to margin that 150% or even 175% leverage in my IBKR. Nile-leverage ko yan plus yung profits ko pa. So, let's say may 100,000, let's say, assume natin, your 100K went 150K, pati yung 50K, ile-lever ko pa yan. So, bullish talaga ako sa US. I'm not bearish at all. So, if it drops, sobrang saya ko niyan. If market fell, I'll be very happy. I don't short. Tanggal lang yung leverage. Take profits lang, tapos let's see where the market goes. May mga ibang names nga ako na hindi ko nabili, no? So, KCAC ang lakas, so. KCAC. Yan nga yung kay Bill Gates, no? So, lakas. I heard about it a few days ago, no? September 3, from 14, akyat kagad sa 21, 22. Kung bumaba yan next few days, I'll try to wait it out. Kensington Capital, KCAC. So new SPACs. Ang daming SPACs in the US. So I'll be concentrated studying on IPOs and SPACs in the short term. Dun yung pera. And then, manage ko na kasi yung mga Facebook, Roku, C-Limited, Spotify. Manage ako dyan. Kahit bagsakan mo ako C-Limited, Spotify, 25%. Di ako takot dyan. May stocks po ba ang MGM Resorts? Yes. Casinos are traded. MGM, ticker MGM. So, MGM, I trade that. Buy, sell lang ako dyan. Hindi ako pang marriage kay MGM eh. Marriage, hindi ko minimarry to eh. Buy, sell lang to. So it went from 32 to 5, ngayon 23. At 23, I'd sell. If it's down about 15 again, buy yan. Pero casino-wise, hindi MGM yung binibili ko eh. Sa casinos, ang madalas kong i-trade dyan would be SGMS, Scientific Games, trade ko yan. GAN, I trade that. Gamble, I trade that. Yun. Sometimes people also trade PEN and BYD. Yun. Binabasa ko rin yan, PEN and BYD. DraftKings also. Support and resistance for Nasdaq on short term, 10 to 12K, I think. Like, sobrang daming buyers at 10K, with more buyers at 9K. And then, temporary, may selling sa 12K. So, at 11, 50-50 yan. So, nung Friday, lahat ng bulls bumili na. Actually, bumili na ako last Friday. Bumili na ako ng konti. Bumili na ako ng Zoom eh. Kahit bagsakan ako, wala mong pakialam eh. So, 12-4, no? First drop, 11-2, 11K. Pwede ka pa bagsakan tonight. Pwede pa mag-11 yan. Pwede pa yan mag-10-4. Pero the lower it goes, the more I'm aggressive. So, buyers ako on dips. Buy ako dyan, buy ako dito, buy more pa ako dito sa 9.5. So, in the next 3 weeks, 3 months, the lower the market goes, bullish ako. And then, of course, if it goes up, benta ako. Buy ako sa low, sell ako. Pataas. Yun. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much. And I don't necessarily trade the index. Some of the companies like IPOs and SPACs, walang index movement yan. Sobrang, like my graph and my FMCI, GMHI, up yan. Di nga ako nag-cake up 50, 100% sana, no? Sayang. 14 to 28 pala yon in one day. 100% up. Pero okay lang. IPOs talaga yan eh. So malakas talaga yung mga IPOs and SPACs. I'm waiting for so many IPOs. Sobrang daming IPOs. So, di ako masyado interested sa financial. Pag overcrowded yan, di ako masyado dyan interested. I'm more interested with Snowflake, pero baka overcrowded din yun eh. So baka doon ako lilipat sa mga IPOs na hindi masyado pinag-uusapan. Naaaralin ko, syempre. Yun lang. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.